Avoidant attachment does not typically develop in children whose parents were absent or cruel. More often, it forms in children of loving, involved parents who simply did not know how to handle emotions well. The issue is not really about what parents do. It is about what they consistently leave out. And it is always those missing steps that matter most. Because secure attachment does not grow from a general atmosphere of love and stability. It grows from specific responses happening at specific moments. A child needs more than broad affection and a warm home. They need emotional responsiveness in moments of distress. They need connection that arrives while they are struggling, not after the storm has passed. They need their feelings to be seen and acknowledged before anyone tries to fix them. They need comfort that does not have to be earned by calming down first. When parents skip these steps, when they rush towards soothing without first connecting, when they jump to solving the problem before sitting with the feeling, when they celebrate independence but pull back from neediness, they are quietly teaching the child that emotional self-sufficiency is the price of closeness. Most parents have no idea these steps even exist. They believe that showing up, loving consistently, meeting physical needs, and being affectionate in calm moments is enough. They believe they are doing everything right. But secure attachment is built in the hard moments, when a child is dysregulated, overwhelmed, and flooded with feeling. If a parent skips the step of emotional presence in those moments and moves straight to stopping the experience, if they bypass sitting with the feeling and immediately reach for a solution, if they praise self-reliance but do not welcome healthy dependence, the child's nervous system receives a clear and lasting message. My emotional needs are something I manage alone. Connection is available when I am calm, but not in the middle of the mess, when I actually need co-regulation the most. And this is exactly what makes it so hard to recognize. Parents who create avoidant patterns are often doing so much right. They are present. They genuinely care. They provide structure, consistency, and warmth. They are not neglecting or harming their child. But in those critical windows, when a child's nervous system is calling out for emotional responsiveness, the parent skips the one step that would deliver it. They move instead towards stopping the emotion, solving the problem, or waiting for the child to settle on their own. It is the consistent absence of those specific emotional responses in those specific moments that shapes avoidance. Not bad parenting in a broad sense, but the repeated skipping of the steps that secure attachment actually requires. And children are brilliant at adapting to those missing steps. If closeness comes after emotions are suppressed, but not during distress, they learn to self-regulate quickly and quietly. If feelings must be contained before comfort arrives, they learn to manage feelings on their own. If praise and warmth go to the child who does not ask for much, they learn to ask for less. The adaptation is intelligent and protective, but it becomes the foundation of adult avoidant attachment, where a person cannot show vulnerability, cannot let others into their struggles, and cannot ask for help even when they are desperately aching for it. All because the steps of emotional availability during stress were consistently skipped in favor of calming, problem-solving, or celebrating independence. Now let us walk through each of those missing steps in detail. The first step. Parents wait for calm before offering closeness. When a child cries, melts down, or shows intense emotion, the parent holds back. They do not leave the room. They may be right there watching. But the warmth, the physical tenderness, the emotional presence is withheld. The parent waits. They wait for the intensity to drop, for the child to pull themselves together. Only once the child begins to regulate, only when the crying quiets and the breathing steadies and things start to calm down, does the parent move closer. That is when the hug arrives. That is when the voice softens again, when comfort and closeness become available. The parent may believe they are teaching self-regulation or reinforcing calm behavior, but here is the step being missed. The missing piece is connection during the distress itself. And what the child's nervous system learns from that missing step is deeply damaging. Closeness comes after I shut my feelings down. I need to disconnect from my emotions and regulate alone. Only then can I reconnect with my parent. So the shift needed is to move toward the child immediately while they are still dysregulated, not waiting for calm, not holding back warmth until they have settled. The hug, the physical closeness, the gentle and present voice, all of that must arrive during the storm, not after it. Sit beside them while they are still crying. Hold them if they allow it. Speak in a calm and warm tone even while they are still upset. What you communicate through that act is this: I am here with you in this feeling. You do not have to shut it down to reach me. Closeness is available right now, in the hardest moment, not only after you have managed it alone. This is what builds secure attachment. The child's nervous system learns that stress is a moment to reach toward connection. Vulnerability draws support. They do not have to disconnect from feeling in order to bond. That missing step, connection during distress, is the most important one for teaching a child that emotional need pulls people closer rather than pushing them away. The second step. Emotions are treated as problems that need to be solved. A child comes in upset. They are sad, angry, disappointed. Rather than staying beside that emotion, rather than sitting with them in the feeling, the parent immediately shifts into problem-solving mode. They offer distraction, they apply logic, they present solutions. All attention goes toward ending the emotion as quickly as possible. The important step being skipped is simply staying with the feeling, witnessing it, naming it, letting it exist without rushing to eliminate it. And what the child learns from this missing step is that feelings are not meant to be felt. They are meant to be controlled, solved, and removed as fast as possible. Emotions become problems to be managed rather than experiences to be understood and moved through. This repeats itself again and again. The child expresses an emotion, and within seconds the parent has deployed every strategy available to stop it. Distraction, logic, problem-solving, minimizing, anything except simply sitting with the child inside the feeling. The parent believes they are helping, teaching the child that problems have solutions, showing how to cope. But what they are actually teaching, by skipping the step of staying with the feeling, is that the emotion itself is the problem. The goal becomes emotional bypass, using thinking and action to avoid the experience of feeling. When these children grow up, they become people who cannot sit with their own emotions or with anyone else's. When they feel sadness or anxiety, they immediately distract, intellectualize, or try to logic their way out. When someone near them is experiencing strong emotion, they feel uncomfortable and want to fix it fast. They have learnt that feelings are temporary problems to be resolved, rather than meaningful information to be understood. So the shift to begin making is this: when a child comes with an emotion, do not skip the step of staying with it. Before fixing, before distracting, before solving anything, first, just be with the feeling. Get down to their level. Acknowledge what they are experiencing. Then pause. Sit with them in that emotion for a moment or two. You are not yet trying to make it better. You are teaching them that feelings are experiences worth having, that emotions carry information, that you can be present with them in discomfort. That step, staying with the feeling, is what was being skipped. After the child has moved through the feeling, after they have had a witness to their emotional experience, then problem solving can follow if needed. but the feeling and the connection inside the feeling must come first. When you stop skipping this step, you are teaching healthy emotional processing instead of emotional avoidance. You are raising children who can feel their feelings and move through them, rather than constantly rooting around them through thinking and doing. The third step. Independence gets confused with emotional maturity. A young child handles an upset on their own or gets through something hard without asking for help, and the parent lights up with pride. "Look at you, so grown up. You are so independent. You did not even need me." That self-soothing, that self-reliance, that emotional self-sufficiency gets celebrated enthusiastically. The parent believes they are acknowledging real competence and capability. But here is the important step being missed. What gets left out is the recognition that young children are not supposed to be emotionally self-sufficient. Real emotional maturity, the kind that creates genuinely confident adults, comes from thousands of successful co-regulation experiences with caring adults, which then gradually become internalized as the capacity for self-regulation. When a young child self-soothes, and this draws delight without also affirming that they can still reach for help, the message confuses protective independence, born from learning that asking for support only makes things worse, with healthy maturity. So when a child does something on their own, recognize their capability without shaming the need. You could say something like, "You worked through that hard feeling," rather than, "You did not need my help." And just as importantly, actively create moments that welcome their dependence. "I am always here if you need me." Or, "Sometimes it is great to do things yourself." And sometimes it is smart to ask for support. When a child does ask for help, respond with the same warmth and energy you bring when they handle things alone. You are teaching them that both capability and healthy dependence are valued, that they do not have to choose between being competent and being able to ask for support. That missing step, actively welcoming their needs and emotional expression rather than only praising self-sufficiency, is crucial for preventing the pattern where a child learns they are most loved when they need the least. The whole child must be welcomed, not only the easy parts. The fourth step. The parent is physically present, but emotionally absent. The parent is right there with the child, in the room, providing care, showing up in their life. But when the child is emotionally overwhelmed or struggling with something, the parent is not emotionally attuned. They are distracted, absorbed in their own stress, uncomfortable with the intensity of what the child is feeling, or simply unable to read the child's emotional state and respond to it. The important missing step is emotional attunement, the ability to sense what the child is feeling, to resonate with that feeling, and to respond in a way that shows you see and understand their inner experience. Physical presence, without emotional attunement, teaches the child something confusing and painful. My parent is here, but I cannot reach them when I am hurting. They are available for practical things, but not for my emotional world. And the child adapts. They stop overwhelming the parent. They manage emotional distress on their own. They minimize their needs. They stop reaching for emotional support. So when you are with your child, practice genuine emotional attunement rather than just physical proximity. Put the phone down. Clear your mind of your own concerns, at least for these moments. Watch their face, their body language, the small shifts in their emotional state. Practice naming what you notice. Try asking questions that show you want to understand their inner world. When they share feelings, reflect back what you are hearing. This attunement, this active and engaged emotional presence, is the missing step. When you stop skipping it and begin truly tuning into your child's emotional world, they learn that they can come to you when they are overwhelmed, that their inner experience matters to you, that emotional connection is available and not only physical presence. The fifth step. Big feelings make the adult visibly uncomfortable. When a child is experiencing intense, overwhelming emotion, deep crying, strong anger, flooding fear, the parent clearly shows discomfort. They are not punishing or being cruel. They simply feel uneasy. They may pull back slightly. Their face may tighten. Their voice may harden, or they may rush to stop the intensity. The missing step is staying calm and present during emotional intensity. A child who reads their parent like a book learns from that discomfort that big feelings threaten closeness. They register that when emotions become intense, their parent becomes uncomfortable. And for a developing brain, that means their emotions are costing them the person they need most. So avoidance becomes protection. Children learn to dim their emotional expression in order to protect the relationship and protect themselves from the experience of showing feelings and watching their parent withdraw. So when your child is experiencing intense emotion and you feel your own discomfort rising, the first step is this. Recognize that managing your discomfort is your responsibility, not your child's. The child should not have to suppress their feelings to manage your comfort level. Before responding to them, regulate yourself. Take a breath. Remind yourself that emotions are not dangerous, that your child needs you to be unafraid of their feelings. Then consciously soften your face, relax your body, keep your voice calm and accepting. Stay close without showing visible discomfort. That missing step, maintaining your own regulation and steadiness during your child's dysregulation, is essential. When you can genuinely receive even your child's most intense feelings calmly, demonstrating through your peaceful presence that the intensity does not threaten you or the relationship, they learn that all of their emotions are acceptable, that they do not need to protect you from what they feel. This prevents avoidance because the child does not learn that emotional expression costs them closeness. The sixth step. Praise goes to the easy child. You have a child who is quiet, undemanding, rarely causes trouble, handles things independently, and you feel grateful for it. You praise it openly. Then when they do express a need or show an emotion, your response is less warm or even slightly irritated. The important missing step is pausing to ask whether this easy behavior is natural temperament or a learned adaptation. Many children become undemanding, not because it is who they are, but because they have learned that being easy brings approval and being needy costs warmth. When you praise the easiness without also actively welcoming the full range of normal childhood needs and emotions, you teach the child that their value to you depends on not asking for much. You skip the step that would have shown them that all of them, including the needing, emotional, and struggling parts, is loved and wanted. So the next time you notice feeling grateful for how easy your child is, pause and get curious. Are they naturally undemanding, or have they adapted this way because needs create distance? Watch your own patterns. Do you give more warmth when they are independent than when they ask for help? If so, consciously reverse that. When your child expresses a need, respond with extra warmth. I am so glad you told me you needed help. When they show emotion, lean fully in rather than feeling relief when it does not happen. That missing step, actively welcoming their needs and emotional expression rather than only praising self-sufficiency, is essential for preventing the pattern where a child learns they are most loved when they need the least. The seventh step. Comfort is made conditional on behavior. The child is upset and dysregulated. Before offering comfort, something is required of them. Use your words. Calm down first, and then we will talk. When you stop crying, I will help you. The important missing step is offering comfort and connection unconditionally during stress, rather than as a reward for demonstrating regulation. By making comfort conditional, by requiring words that are genuinely inaccessible during dysregulation, or by asking the child to settle before responding warmly, You are teaching them that they must demonstrate emotional control in order to receive care. That creates a devastating lesson. I cannot get support when I need it most. I have to get through the hardest part alone, show that I have managed, and then support becomes available. It is like telling a drowning person to swim to the life ring. They need the life ring to avoid drowning, but you are asking them to do the hard part, to swim, before you give the help. The help needs to arrive while they are still drowning so that it can get them to safety, not after they have already saved themselves. A child experiences exactly this when comfort is conditioned on first demonstrating regulation. They are emotionally drowning, and the message they receive is, "Show me you can regulate, and then I will comfort you." But they need your comfort and your co-regulation to help them regulate. By skipping the step of unconditional comfort during stress and making it behavioural, you teach the child that in their hardest moments, they are on their own. So they stop reaching for you when they are overwhelmed, because help is not available until after they have already helped themselves. So when your child is dysregulated and distressed, here is how to stop skipping this step. Offer comfort immediately and unconditionally. Do not require words, stillness, or any specific behaviour. Simply move toward them with warm, supportive presence. Hold them if they allow it. Sit close. Speak softly. Your comfort and your closeness must be most available precisely in their most dysregulated moments, not conditioned on them already managing. That unconditional comfort during stress is what co-regulation actually looks like. You are lending them your calm. You are becoming the external regulator their developing nervous system needs. After they have received your comfort and their system begins to settle, then you can work on skills like using words or solving problems. But comfort comes first, without conditions. When you stop skipping this step, when you make support available during stress rather than conditional on prior regulation, you build secure attachment, because the child learns that reaching for closeness in an overwhelming moment actually works, and that they do not have to manage alone before support becomes available. The 8th step. Parents model emotional self-sufficiency. A child watches how you handle your own emotions and needs. Do they ever see your vulnerability? Do they see you ask for help? Do they see you share when something is hard? Or do you model complete emotional self-sufficiency, never crying in front of them, never acknowledging difficulty, never asking others for support, always appearing to have everything under control? The important missing step is modeling healthy vulnerability and healthy interdependence. When you model only strength and self-sufficiency, the child learns that this is what capable adults do, that needing emotional support is something to grow out of, that vulnerability is weakness. And they copy what they see. They become emotionally closed because that is what they watched you be. Avoidance becomes not just a behaviour, but an identity. This is what strong people do. Think of it like watching someone cook only complex dishes with apparent effortlessness, never asking for help, never acknowledging when something went wrong, never following a recipe. You would absorb the belief that real cooks do everything perfectly and from memory alone. If you later struggled with cooking, you would feel like a failure rather than understanding that asking for help and learning from mistakes is completely normal. Your child experiences the same thing watching you model emotional self-sufficiency. They see you never be vulnerable, never ask for support, never show struggle, and they internalize that capable, admirable people like you do not need anyone emotionally. The missing step is showing them that even capable adults have emotional needs, ask for support, and show vulnerability. Without witnessing that model, they learn that emotional self-sufficiency is the goal. So stop skipping the step of appropriate vulnerability with your child. Let them see that you are human. Today was a really hard day and I am feeling stressed. I'm going to call a friend because talking with her helps me feel better. Your child just saw that struggling is normal and asking for support is healthy. This is hard for me. I am going to ask for help thinking it through. Your child just learned that capable people ask for help. I am feeling a bit sad about something today. Sometimes sad feelings come, and that is okay. Your child just absorbed that emotions are normal and do not need to be hidden. You are not burdening them with adult problems. You are showing them that the full range of human experience, including vulnerability and need, is acceptable. Model the balance between strength and openness, between independence and healthy connection. When you stop skipping this modeling step, you prevent your child from internalizing the belief that emotional self-sufficiency is the only acceptable way to be. Instead, they learn that they can be both capable and vulnerable, both strong and in need, depending on what the moment calls for. The ninth and final point: why missing steps matter more than present actions. If there is one thing to take from all of this, let it be this: secure attachment is not built simply from what parents do. It is built specifically from whether parents do certain critical things at certain critical moments. You can be present, loving, and devoted. You can provide stability and care. You can do 100 things right. But if you consistently skip these specific steps, connection during stress, staying with feelings before fixing them, welcoming dependence alongside praising capability, emotional attunement rather than just physical presence, staying calm during intensity, offering comfort unconditionally rather than conditionally, modeling vulnerability rather than only strength, then your child's nervous system does not receive what it needs to develop secure attachment. The missing steps are where the avoidant patterns take root. Imagine building a house, but consistently skipping the step of installing the load-bearing beams. You do everything else. Foundation, walls, roof, beautiful finishes. But without those beams in the right places, the structure is fundamentally unstable, even though most of the work was done well. Attachment works the same way. When the critical steps are skipped, when parents do so much right, love genuinely, provide consistently, show up reliably, but miss the specific steps that teach a child their emotions are welcome, that vulnerability brings closeness, that reaching for support in an overwhelming moment reliably works, the attachment structure becomes unstable, organized around avoidance and self-sufficiency rather than around secure connection. So your task right now is not to feel guilt over what was missed. The task is to understand what the critical steps actually are so that you can stop skipping them. Offer connection during stress without waiting for calm. Sit with feelings before moving to fix them. Welcome healthy dependence at the same time you praise capability. Be emotionally attuned rather than just physically present. Stay calm and grounded during emotional intensity. Offer comfort unconditionally rather than requiring regulation first. Model appropriate vulnerability and healthy interdependence rather than only self-sufficiency. These are the steps that build secure attachment. When any of them is consistently skipped, avoidant patterns form in the gaps that are left behind. But when you recognize which steps have been missing and begin to bring them in, the developing nervous system receives new information and different patterns become possible. This is not about perfection. It is about understanding which steps are most essential and committing to stop leaving them out. Parents who understand that missing steps matter more than anything else can identify which ones they have been skipping and add them back in. And when they do, the attachment patterns of their children can shift from avoidance towards something far more secure.